guys, so today I am going to be doing a combination of two of my favourite videos to film and two of your favourite videos to watch, I think. So I have been getting so many questions since I started doing my revision GCSE and A Level videos, and so I thought today I would do a get ready with me and answer some of those questions. If you want to see me do my makeup and talk a little bit through it, keep watching, and if you are interested in some more tips and tricks for your A Levels and GCSEs, also keep watching. And if you haven't already subscribed, it would mean the world to me. We just hit 7k and I'm so excited because I feel like I've been waiting so long, and then we got there and it whirlwind, we're already like, you know, on our way to 7.1k. It's amazing. I'm so excited and like really grateful, so thank you. So let's get on with it. So starting off with makeup quickly, I have already moisturized my face. Apologies for my ratty hair today. We're just going to ignore it and focus on the face and the revision tips. I'm going to use this product that actually my mum got me as a present. She went traveling and she came back and she presented me with this, and this is the Hylamide Photography Foundation Transparent, basically primer. You put it on before or instead of foundation, etc., and it looks like this. It's like a weird shimmery white liquid, and you basically just dab it onto your face. I found that if you don't apply it evenly, it's not good. So I'm going to just apply a little bit of this whilst answering the first question. And this is basically to smooth your skin out in photos, to make it like catch the light nicely. It makes it look even in texture and colour, all sorts of great things. If I remember, I'll link it below. If not, you can Google it. So the first question is for some very specific tips on maths, science and English. I was thinking actually if you're interested in doing a specific revision tips per subject, especially the sciences because I do them now, and geography because I do that now, and then I feel like I could probably talk about English because I remember having to do quite a lot of work for it because it was my least favourite and my pesky A. So some tips that I can quickly give you now, I would say for maths, my biggest kind of faux pas was I understood what was going on, but when it got to like the exam like technique and actually answering the questions, bourgeois healthy mix serum. You know when you just learn a topic and then you answer like a bunch of questions on it right after? So I'd be fine doing that because we just learned it and it was all in one go, really easy to spot what you were supposed to do. But when you get into the exam situation, I find it's really difficult to know what knowledge to apply. Even if you like know your equations, you know what's going on, sometimes it's hard to work out exactly what they want you to do in order to answer the question. So doing practice papers and just looking at past exam questions is honestly, I mean for every subject, but I really found for maths was the best thing I could do. I went for a dab of naked skin under my eyes just because they're looking a little bit dark. Less dark than when I'm at school, but still a little bit dark. So some tips for English. Oof, I mean English was not my friend, but I mean, I know all English boards are different, but correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know about the new GCSE, but we had to do a bunch of poems and then a play and then a book. So that's what I did. I did All My Sons, Northanger Abbey, and then I did Thomas Hardy poems, and there were like 500 to learn, and that was literally my least favourite part. I didn't even mind the books. I actually really enjoyed the play, but the poems killed it for me, and I hated English language. It was my only A. So don't ever listen to my advice on English language, but English literature I did get an A star, and I consistently didn't write awful essays. They just weren't like as good as my, I don't know, science or like my long mark geography and RS, you know? Like those were better than my English essays. But I would say for English, like you have to really get into it, you know? Know your book, know your poems, learn a little context. Like, you know, like those little bits and those details that will like make you stand out are so important. Learn some context, learn what they mean. Learn your like definitions of like, what's the word? You know, like when it has like 3 syllables and then it does that like pattern of, all those Englishy words, learn them and use them, because I like didn't really use them, and maybe that's where I lost marks, I don't know, but I feel like that learning is like the key for all of these, like learn your spec, learn your quotes, that kind of thing, but like it's really annoying. Also I'd say have discussions with people about the English stuff, because it's something that you can form an opinion on and give an opinion on, unlike, I don't know, maths. So if you actually like chat to your parents about it, you might get some really good points that you can use. So like I said, I'll probably do, clanging around, a separate science tips video, so I'm not going to answer that now. So the next question is, how did I like structure my revision, so like timings and days? And I replied to a comment about this, I think yesterday, on my latest video, and let's see if I can remember exactly what I said, because I actually kind of don't remember, but I asked my mum and she said what I did was I pretty much did every day until about 2 o'clock. So I'd start, I think, about 9, maybe 8, and go till about 2. And then take the afternoon off. And then occasionally I'd do a bit more, and occasionally I'd have the whole day off, or I'd only do a little bit. I did really vary it, otherwise I find it gets a little bit too monotonous, but also the routine is good for you. And I personally did make a timetable for my GCSEs because there's so much to fit in. But for A levels, I haven't made a revision timetable. I just do what I need to do, and I have my Excel spreadsheet with everything I know I need to cover. And when I've done it, the color changes, and I know like, at least I've done notes on it, or like there's something I can refer to if I'm struggling with it. So I used to do like hour and a half slots and then take a break, which I think is definitely good for GCSE. Now I do more like an hour and a half to 2 hours, sometimes even a little bit more if I'm like really on a roll, just because the chapters are so much longer for A level that I feel like it's a better way to do it. But for GCSE, there's less but more subject, so doing it in that way makes sense. And I'm going to use the Balm Berry Luminizer, but first I'm going to quickly pop on some Hoola with a fan brush. So something that I get asked a lot is how to like manage your time, how to fit it all in. And I find the best way to do this is to make sure that like from the start you have a really good balance. You need to understand that without having rest and other stuff, you won't do well. You can't do well on like no sleep or no like fun for ages. Like it just doesn't work. And while you might feel like you're compromising your revision by doing that, which I mean technically you are because you're doing less revision, if you do loads of revision and then like burn out before the exams and you just like freak out because you can't do it and you're exhausted and whatever, you're gonna do really badly. If you do a little bit less revision, I'm not talking a lot, but like a little bit less, and allow yourself like treat days or like days to basically do a little bit less, or going to bed early rather than like doing another paper or whatever, you're not gonna burn out. You're gonna get to the exams and you're gonna do like well. Obviously, the more work you can put in, the better you're gonna do, but it is about finding a balance. I find also I schedule in times of the week to do certain things. So like I film videos on certain days and I see people on certain days. Other days I know that I'm gonna have loads to do, so I like go home and do that instead. Obviously that does change week to week, but like in general, roughly knowing like what days you might be able to have an early night and kind of sticking to that is good. My hair is annoying me so much. Like, why does it stick out like that? So someone has said general study tips for A level, just because it is that bit more complex in GCSE, and I guess in year 12, like it's a bit daunting to go from that. I actually found year 12 to year 13 a pretty big jump as well, not to scare anyone, but that was quite big, and I know that that is a bit like for lots of people, including me, so let's talk about that. I like that question. Even jumping from like year 9 to year 10 or year 10 to year 11, when you go through big jumps at school, there is literally an entire population who's also doing the same thing. Like, if you're struggling, you can definitely go and tell teachers that you're finding the jump big, because they have dealt with it for so long. So I just put Blanc Type by MAC all over my all over my lid, and I'm gonna take Wedge and just really lightly do like a little crease transition shade, you know? This is my favorite transition color, I think. I like my Naked Basics as well, but this one's good. And I would say, in order to help like manage that jump, you kind of need to change up your routine a little bit. So like, I used to get home and not do my homework straight away at GCSE, or at the beginning of GCSE at least, and for A level I get home and do my work straight away, just because there's like that bit more that it hangs over you. You are gonna have to put in a little bit more time, so you might as well sort of accept that and just spend a little bit of time, you know, going over things. If I had taken the teacher's advice in like recapping a little bit throughout the year, oh my god, would my life be easier now. Going over stuff at the end of the week, as irritating as it is, and it feels like it's not helpful at the beginning, it is really helpful, so I would recommend that. This is a great question, unlike my hair, and it is, how do you avoid feeling guilty when you've like not revised enough, or like not revising or whatever? But once you have like told yourself that you don't need to do every hour of every day, the guilt like slowly stops. I mean, I don't feel guilty now because I feel like I'm doing something productive. If I was taking a break, I'd have to like tell myself this is your break time. And like just like repeating things like that to yourself has really helped me feel a lot less guilty. Working like extra hard when you actually are revising as well will also make you feel less guilty because you're like, yeah, I did put in that work earlier. Like I did do X number of hours or X number of papers or a whole chapter of notes or whatever it is you did. Handwritten by MAC. It's a really, really nice like deep brown shade. I'm taking like the tiniest amount and just putting it in my crease. And then like a little bit. So I'm gonna take this shade. This is my mum's. It's the Line Refine Maybelline Waterproof Crayon Finish. Good God, it's a long name. It's a brown eyeliner. So, what is the preferred way that I revise for my A levels? Which is a good question. I like to write all my notes so that I have somewhere to go to when I don't understand something. And then I like to talk through concepts with my parents, who I feel sorry for, and do lots of past papers. That is my definite preferred way to revise. I love talking to my parents about geography. Like, I just talk at them. I'm like, and did you know in 1991? And then I'll like go off on one. They'll be like, But like, it's the best way to revise. It helps you learn your facts. It's a great one. This is my new favourite mascara. This is the Fast Stroke Defining Lash Mascara from Collection. They actually sent this to me and I was like, I don't need a new mascara, I won't use it. And I just used it once, I don't know, a while ago. And oh my God, I loved it. I was like, this is so good. So I kept using it to like check it wasn't a fluke, and I haven't turned back. I've used one mascara since. I'm gonna put on Malibu, and then I'm gonna put on this from Colourpop, which is a Lippy Sticks in Cookie. Okay, so whilst I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm gonna answer a question that I just get so much in so many like different forms, but basically it's people asking like how much I revise, how much I do, how many hours, and it's just so dependent on the person and what you want to achieve and like how much time you can put in, because I know some people like get really tired after a while. I know I can't do more than a certain number of hours a day. You end up with like really like bad notes, to be honest, or like you don't do as well on a paper. Whatever it is you're doing, it's just like it's not as good, so there's no point pushing yourself too far. But I do think that you kind of have to do it once to see where your boundary is. So like work as hard as you can for a day and see when you get tired and stop. And I am a big believer in like taking breaks that are productive, so like doing something else that you need to do, or taking a break and just knowing that like that is your relaxing time. And I mentioned that earlier, but like I think it's really important. If you guys have any other questions, you know I love answering them. I have answered so many of your questions now on my last 3 videos, and I just love answering them. You tweet me those questions, you comment them, because like I love it. I love giving you whatever advice I can give you. If it's not helpful, just ignore it. If it is helpful, tell me, because I love to know. And if you want more revision type videos, give this a thumbs up so I know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this little fusion of the 2 types of video that we both like. If you do want more of these, tell me, give this a thumbs up if you like makeup/revision videos, and I'll try and do some more in some way. And if you just want revision ones, tell me. If you just want makeup ones, tell me. Just let me know and I will try and do them for you. And I will see you in a video soon. Bye!